Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So look, one thing that happened yesterday around midday that I actually found quite interesting was the report that surfaced about Jim Harbaugh. Now Jim Harbaugh, as we all know, planned to sign that extension with the Michigan Wolverines, a huge extension, a couple of days ago, right? That news broke, everybody kind of thought it was going to get done, but it's not done. So a report surfaced yesterday pretty much saying that the number one thing holding that up is Harbaugh's desire to return to the NFL. So then you're starting to think to yourself, okay, out of the 6 openings, which team or teams do you think Jim Harbaugh has his sights set on? Because, I mean, if he wants to come back to the NFL, and that's what's holding him up from signing that extension at Michigan, he has to go to one of these 6 teams. Those are the only openings, the only job openings available. So the assumption would be Jim Harbaugh is looking at 1, 2, or maybe 3 of these openings and is thinking to himself, those are attractive landing spots. So attractive to where I'm not going to be signing, a multi-million-dollar extension at my alma mater where I seemingly can disappoint or underachieve every year and there's no repercussions. It seems like my job security is pretty much A-okay, no matter the product that's put on the football field, okay? And granted, Harbaugh's seat is getting hotter, okay? Michigan fans, the Wolverines fans, they're getting sick and tired of losing in these big games, okay? And now you throw on top of it this season, this train wreck of a season. I definitely understand the frustration from the Wolverines fans. So then we turn our attention to the New York Jets, right? One of these 6 job openings. And you're asking yourself, well, what do we know about this job? What is Joe Douglas, what is Christopher Johnson looking for in the next head coach? Well, the things that we've heard, the things that have been kind of, I don't necessarily want to say leaked, but the things that have been rumored, number one, they want to go pluck a guy from college. They want to get a guy who's built up a program, a guy who has experience connecting with younger players, a guy who does a really good job of getting kids to buy into a program, right? Everybody all on one board, everybody's on one ship going in the right direction. No divas, no sort of distractions. Everybody is just about the team. Okay, so Jim Harbaugh checks that box. So the second rumor that we've heard is that the Jets want to get a guy in the building who can take a step back, oversee the entire Jets operation and get this thing going in the right direction. Think of a manager, right? They want to get that managerial style of a head coach. Jim Harbaugh checks that box. Okay, and yes, people will reference he was a quarterback at Michigan. He played quarterback in the NFL. He's notorious for the West Coast system. But look, Harbaugh has the self-awareness to say, you know what? My offense is not working. It's not working for the personnel. Let me go get Greg Roman in San Francisco. Let me go get Gaddis, right? Josh Gaddis this 2019 and this year at Michigan. He has that understanding, like, okay, I know offense. I've done it before. I've been in your shoes at the college level, at the pro level. I've done this before, but my way might not be the best way of thinking as far as offensive schematics goes. So thus far, Jim Harbaugh has checked 2 of the boxes. Rumor number 3. The Jets want to get a guy in the building who's going to put a lot of emphasis on the quarterback development, right? Just the overall progression throughout the years. That's something that the Jets have just been completely starved of for forever, right? That franchise quarterback. You're looking at Harbaugh's resume, the quarterbacks that he's worked with. Obviously, Andrew Luck is the first one that pops out back in college at Stanford. Then he arrives to the NFL and he takes on the Alex Smith project, which frankly, at that point in time, nobody wanted to deal with, right? It was just constant turnover at the offensive coordinator position for the 49ers. Harbaugh walks in and immediately turns Smith around. Then he gets hurt. Kaepernick steps in and, he's playing like absolutely lights out. Fast forward to college at Michigan. He won a bunch of games with not so good quarterback talents, guys like Wilton Spate, Jake Rudock. So the three big rumors that the Jets have been looking for in their head coach, Jim Harbaugh has all 3. That's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it really, really, really intriguing. So to give you my opinion on Jim Harbaugh, I like him. I know it's not the popular thing to say. Everybody's down on Jim Harbaugh. Let's be honest for a second. The Michigan experiment has not worked out. It wasn't really a pretty ending in San Francisco, kind of, owner versus Harbaugh. It was kind of a weird thing. And as we all know, Harbaugh is somewhat of a quirky individual, right? He likes to do things differently than everybody else. But when you're looking at the positives of a Jim Harbaugh, he loves the underdog role. That's what the New York Jets are. It's going to be an uphill battle for the next couple of seasons until we really get this thing turned around. as far as rebuilding a program, rebuilding a franchise, Jim Harbaugh is the absolute master of doing those things. I mean, let's look at Stanford. Walks into a 1-11 program. By the time he's leaving, they're 12-1. Same thing with San Francisco. Walks in, the 49ers were a complete joke up until Harbaugh got there. Instantly turned them around. I believe they were 6-10 to 13-3 playoffs. Like every year, playoffs. It was 49ers versus Seahawks, that whole rivalry. LOB versus, Crabtree and these guys. How awesome was that rivalry? Great defenses. Like, Harbaugh has shown the ability to take a program, take a franchise, and instantly flip the script, rebuild them, get players, get fans, get coaches, get everybody bought in on one board, and then he's the captain. The issues with Jim Harbaugh is winning the big game. He got to multiple NFC championships, right? Lost to Seattle, won, and then lost in the Super Bowl, then lost again. So, big games, it's kind of a question mark for Harbaugh. Same deal at Michigan, rack up all these wins. They beat down on the Big 12, but they'll lose to Ohio State. Everybody knows it's coming. They just lose to Ohio State. And granted, some of those losses came on very, very, very questionable calls, but it doesn't change the fact that throughout the course of Harbaugh's 49er career up through Michigan, he's always lost the big game. So it is something to look at. But I do think Harbaugh likes to kind of be slighted. He likes to, have everybody betting against him, and he likes to kind of ramp up the hype and get his guys on board and really play the role of the underdog, really trying to just piss people off and shock everybody. I think that's where Harbaugh excels. And one more thing I just kind of wanted to end off with, just a question from afar. I'm not a Wolverines fan. I do like the program. I like Harbaugh's coaching staff a lot, so I have followed him, but Michigan fans would know this better than I do. But when you're looking at Harbaugh's intensity, this was a guy who would freak out on the sidelines, screaming at referees, taking his play sheet, chucking it all, down the sidelines, headset coming off, freaking out, just looking like an absolute sociopath on the sidelines. Crazy person. I always liked that. I thought it was entertaining and I liked the passion, but this year at Michigan, it's completely different. He just looks like a statue out there. He looks bored almost. Michigan's getting killed in these games, and he's just standing there, just like, walking around almost like he has no soul or no personality. So has Jim Harbaugh lost the intensity? I'll leave it with that question. Would you guys like a Jim Harbaugh? Would you not like it? I know the popular opinion would be do not bring this guy in because he sucked at Michigan, or I shouldn't say sucked. Disappointed, underwhelmed at Michigan. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.